Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
True Score Gaming back with another episode of SnowRunner Hard Mode. Are you as surprised as I am? After we left off, I thought I'd give it another try after the engine stalled, and it fired back up with 22 engine points remaining. The engine is still pretty badly damaged and randomly stalls as the RPMs go up, but as long as I let go off the acceleration in time, I should avoid any further damage. Damaged engines have less power and use more fuel. But this means I might be able to limp it all the way to my rolled over pickup truck. I have experienced damaged engines before, but not to this extent. I really didn't think it was possible to drive in this condition, probably because I've been so used to recovering back to the garage to make full repairs. It took some time, but I did manage to get back to my pickup truck, and with the nearby fuel tanker was able to fuel up. Island Lake has quite a few fuel trailers and a service trailer, so my next goal is to get the Fleetstar back into full service, and since I'm already in Island Lake, I might as well recover the TwinSteer, which is located not far from the upgrade we plan to get for the CK1500 anyway. Here's the plan. We arrived at this gateway here, and this is roughly our starting point. We can fuel up both vehicles at the nearby fuel trailer and then follow this road all the way up to this intersection. From here the vehicles will split up, and the pickup truck will go get the Scout fuel trailer. I'll use that to fuel up the Fleetstar as well as the pickup. The Fleetstar will try and make it over to the service trailer. Once the Fleetstar is fully repaired, we can tow the service and fuel trailers all the way over to the TwinSteer. From there we can pick up the engine upgrade for the CK1500 and get all vehicles back safely to the Smithville Dam gateway. As you can imagine, the trip takes quite a long time with extra delay due to the random engine stalls, but I push on because at the start of this trip I wasn't even planning on getting the TwinSteer, and now it's within reach. As we get near the intersection, still looking good on fuel with about 150 liters left, getting to the service trailer looks doable. "16 minutes later, we are down to our last 20 liters of fuel, but the service trailer is just around the corner. Man, it feels good to get this truck fully repaired. Now it's time to jump in the CK1500, pick up the fuel trailer, and meet up with the Fleetstar. Getting to the Scout trailer with the CK1500 and traveling around this map in general is pretty easy to do with the current upgrades I already have equipped, even though it's still missing the diff lock. I managed to get back to the Fleetstar in no time, and now that all vehicles are fueled up and repaired, it's time to rescue the TwinSteer. Getting to the TwinSteer is no problem now that the Fleetstar is repaired. It's a slow drive through the swamp, but nothing too difficult. I pick up the task to unlock the TwinSteer and make the repair. On the way over with the fuel, I think I stumbled upon what made me roll over earlier. Seriously, the game physics makes some of the fauna come back to life sometimes in interesting ways like this, when nature fights back. With no other surprises along the way, we get to the TwinSteer without too much trouble, and now it's time to unlock it and then quickly snag the nearby engine upgrade for the Chevy CK1500 before it gets too dark. This engine upgrade is slightly less powerful than the one I currently have equipped, but it is more fuel efficient. I think I will make good use out of it when I install it onto the duplicate Chevy CK1500 that we will unlock once we get back to Smithville Dam. I plan on deploying this duplicate vehicle to another region to keep on progressing through hard mode. I get all the vehicles repaired and topped off with fuel. I load up the CK1500 onto the TwinSteer using my crane, and then decide to wait for morning to start the journey back. In the morning, we set out for Smithville Dam. Nothing can stop the giant tires of the TwinSteer even without all-wheel drive, so it makes quick work of the island lake swamp. Here's the plan once we are back in Smithville Dam. I decide to send the TwinSteer up this way to rescue the International TranStar and grab the race suspension upgrade for the Scout 800 along the way. The goal is to head towards the warehouse near the main road where we left the service trailer. Even if we don't make it that far, just getting as close as possible to the main road will be helpful later on. Everything goes according to plan, but it's definitely a challenge in some areas, and I burn more fuel than expected. I managed to get the TwinSteer and the TranStar to the quarry, not far from the main road. Now it's time to switch over to the Fleetstar. The plan here is to recover the duplicate Chevy CK1500, but first I think I'll go around and pick up the service spare parts needed to unlock the long way task obstruction, to make getting back to the garage easier for the CK1500. This was even more challenging, especially having to drive along the narrow path that leads to a very steep incline just before you get to the road with the gas station on it. There's a couple sections on this road you really have to be careful with, so I'm glad that it was daylight by the time I reached it. And I'm a big fan of strategically placed trees. Just a little further down is the massive incline, but the Fleetstar has enough power to make it to the top. Just barely. Once we are on a solid pavement, it's an easy trip over to the gas station, and then to the warehouse for the service spare parts. Now we can clear the way for the duplicate Chevy CK1500 and get that back to the garage. It's damaged, but it's drivable with more than 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and suspension damage which will randomly throw you into neutral gear while driving. Thankfully it's a short drive and we get it back safely to the garage. I'll equip the engine upgrade we picked up from Island Lake, and I can sell the stock engine for a little bit of cash. On the other truck with the more powerful engine, we will equip the diff lock upgrade, and now this truck is ready for deployment to another region. Before we wrap up for today, here's a quick recap for those that want to keep up on our progress. I'll also include last episode since I forgot to update. We're roughly 30% complete on Michigan. We completed one contract in Smithville Dam, which was the essentials. We knocked out the task Motel Woes while doing that contract. The tasks that we have completed in Smithville Dam so far include the Long Way, Find the Antenna Tower, Smithville Bridge, Rock On, and No Country for Old Truck. We have been to 3 out of 4 maps in Michigan and have 2 trucks still on the map that need to be recovered, the White Western Star and the Pacific P16. By adding another CK1500 to our fleet and getting all the upgrades for this vehicle, we can now safely deploy it to another region. Finally, we have only completed the Heavy Burden contest until we get more upgrades. Hey, are you enjoying the series so far? Let me know in the comments below if you are, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. That way you never miss a video. See you on the next adventure.